just going to record this just for those that may not make it. Okay, fine. So just recording. Okay, cool. Everyone can hear. So yeah, so please just make sure that you've logged into your MetaMask. You've moved it to the testnet network on the Binance Smart Chain, because hopefully the team will then ask anyone who's interested to be able to log in via their platform, so you can be able to play around. You know, we like to, you know, seeing is believing, right? So as we always see, we'll always try to adhere and follow the RD Labs checklist in terms of projects that we look for. Yes, some projects may take a few months. We haven't, you know, announced the project for quite a long time with the RD Labs group, but that's by default, right? You know, you cannot rush perfection. This is what we strive for, right? Nothing's ever perfect, but we strive for that. So great to see. Okay, so we've got 45 people, which is fantastic. I think actually this Zoom probably has a max of 100. So I hope that we don't hit the max, or maybe on the other hand, I hope we do hit the max, right? So that's a bit of hype. So let's just wait for one or 2 minutes or so, and then we'll crack on. If anyone has anything to say, maybe you can put it in the chat until maybe we just hit 50, 55, and then we'll crack on. Also, just to make sure, please ensure that you have muted yourself, or maybe I actually set as a default. I think I did, which is fantastic. So that also helps, because we've had some of these things that happened before. Okay, cool. Okay, 50. So let's just wait for another 5. So we've got 50 participants. This is insane, incredible. Also have to remember that, you know, we tried to ensure that it's around 2 p.m. UTC time to try and cross most time zones, right? We cannot fulfill and really achieve everyone, but we try our best. So I'm quite, and also on a Sunday, you know, people are, you know, chilling out with their family. So I really appreciate the time people have taken. We'll try and condense this to about an hour, so everyone could, you know, go along and continue what they're doing on this nice Sunday. So we'll just wait. 53 participants, and we'll crack on once it hits 55.
Ciao.
Okay, fantastic. So 55 participants here from the Familia, I'm sure. So this is absolutely amazing, considering relatively how small our group is. We have what, 300 and something, right, in the group, or so roughly. So, you know, 12, 13%, phenomenal in terms of the conversion rate live. So this is amazing. Anyway, let's get straight to it. So basically, when I make the announcement, what I'm going to do, enough of me rambling on, I'm going to actually move this over and really move this over to the co-founders. So we've got Vince and FS here. They're the co-founders of the project. I think you're really going to be interested. This is a very early stage project, but also in a way that it's early stage in terms of where they are from, let's just say, the whole exposure aspect, but late stage, late stage, quote unquote, in terms of the development. They've come so far in such a short space of time, period of time, in terms of the development. So I'm extremely impressed and excited. Essentially, I've been really working from the background and helping any way that I can over the last few months, I would say, with the team. So I'm excited to announce this project. So, and the project basically is called Oasis. And I'm actually going to put this over and I'm going to unmute with Vince and FS here. So just do this. Okay, so Vince, I think you can be able to unmute.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us here, man. Ken. If you don't mind, can you give me the permission to share my screen?
Okay, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you well.
It sounds like someone has their mic open.
Oh,
They're muted.
So. Okay, Vince, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you, Ken.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you host. Can everyone hear me, by the way? If you can hear me, please type in yes. Just want to make sure. Okay, great. So we can't hear Vince for some reason. What I'm going to do, Vince, I'm going to make you host. Okay, so you've actually muted yourself now, Vince. I'm going to make you host and hopefully that would work. And then basically you could also unmute FS.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ken. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
All right. So again, thanks for having us here, Ken. So happy to be here with our fellow RD familiar, right? So just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Vince, and I'm one of the founders in Oasis. So you know, so in this few years, I've been very active in the crypto space. And fast forward to the beginning of this year itself, I have one of my co-founders, Love, coming to me and that says, "Hey, DeFi is too complicated. Let's think of making things more simple and straightforward for newcomers." And things sort of like escalated very quickly from there. Hence, we started brainstorming and forming this gamified platform for everyone. Right. So very happy that we're able to bring this platform to everyone here today. So without further ado, just let me share my screen and walk you through our official website, right?
Can you hear me okay, Vince?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Just want to make sure. Fantastic. Fire away.
How about you? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, fantastic. All right.
Okay. If everyone can see the screen, please type in yes. Just want to make sure everyone can see the screen. Okay, you can hear us, can hear Vince, you can hear myself. Okay, fantastic. Okay, sorry about that, Vince. I'm just rambling on. Please fire away.
All right, excellent. So this is our official website. And the moment when you enter into this website, you'll be greeted by our mascot that says, "Hey, click to play our game." For information, our MVP is ready for everyone and is connected to BSC mainnet, by the way. It's not testnet. We have actually migrated to BSC mainnet. So later on during the so-called, testing season, the testing session, do make sure that your wallet is connected to the mainnet instead of testnet, right? But no hurries to do that now. We will try out the game together later. So as you scroll down, you will actually see the introduction of Oasis, right? So let me just explain what Oasis is. And I guess the best way to summarize what Oasis is that it's essentially a 2D metaverse that aims to gamify the DeFi space. So we want to create a platform that makes it incredibly easy for our community to access the DeFi apps or service provider in the space itself. I think the DeFi space has started to gain more and more traction in the recent months. But honestly, I feel the adoption rate could have been much higher. And more often than not, a lot of people just choose to walk away when they see there is a huge learning curve when it comes to accessing the DeFi apps. So the team of Oasis, we're actually creating, a platform to make things more engaging, more interactive when it comes to accessing the DeFi service providers, right? Let me just give you guys an example. Like when you're trying to stake in the staking pool, you will probably need to deal with a lot of uninteresting and dull text and figures like what we have in PancakeSwap, right? And the fact is that things do not need to be that complicated. You know, how nice would it be if we were to represent the staking pool using a farm? For instance, let's look at this this image here, right? So if we can actually have each pool being represented by the land plot and the total value lock being represented by the state of the plan, right? So if your TVL is low, then it's going to be a seed, and if the TVL is high, then it's going to be a full-grown plant. And right, so when it comes to the 2D, you know, 2D nostalgic kind of look and feel, and Oasis is actually inspired by some very nostalgic 2D MMORPG game. I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about the game before, but I used to be a very big fan of MapleStory, Ragnarok Online and MU Online. So during my high school days, I usually spend hours within the game itself. It wasn't really for grinding for high levels, but it was more towards the social engagement with my buddies in the game and also with the community, right? So that is the thing that keeps me logging on a daily basis. And likewise for Oasis, we want to create a community-first platform, which is why in terms of user-friendliness and also social elements of the game, we feel that is incredibly important. A few things which we're going to invest very heavily into the platform is the, you know, stuff like loading speed of the game, the performance of the game, the chatting system, and the buddy system. All these things has to be very solid. We want to bring all these elements into Oasis and make it a place where you want to log in every morning when you wake up. And as you scroll down, you will see the introduction about how we plan to gamify the DeFi apps in the space. So you are thinking to gamify the DeFi offerings in the market to make things more accessible and easier to operate for everyone, especially for those newcomers. Let me just share with you guys and girls some interesting screenshot, right? So when we look at you know, DAO, a DAO usually comes with a very complicated stuff, right? You know, stuff like wallet address and stuff like, you know, some technical details. But we feel that things would be much easier to comprehend if we were to make it more gamified. So this is actually a screenshot of how a web voting takes place in our council, which is our DAO in our Oasis platform itself. And let me just show you guys a couple of screenshots. And this is a state where we want Oasis to be. You know, right now, you know that the atmosphere when you're actually interacting with a lot of friends, buddies within the system, and then you guys can just chat around. And the incredible thing about this is that buildings is actually representing different DeFi apps in the space. For instance, you might have a building that's representing PancakeSwap. You might have buildings that are representing BSC Starter, buildings that is meant for lending, right? Aave compound makers. And this is going to be our NFT marketplace, right? Very straightforward. And over here, you can actually see that we are actually segregating the cosmetic NFT by category. Right, so yep, I guess you guys get the gist on how we are planning to gamify the stuff in our DeFi space. And moving forward, I think in later months in 2021, we are going to be introducing cross-chain interoperability. So right now, it's supporting Binance Smart Chain. We are also going to be expanding our coverage to say Matic, Hiko, or potentially Ethereum chain as well, right? In order to onboard more anchor tenant or more service providers into Oasis itself. And here we have the tokenomics. Probably later I will get my co-founder FS to share with us on the tokenomics, right? So let's jump to the next section, which is the roadmap. Okay, so we started developing the game probably like, 6 to 7 months ago. And fast forward into Q2 of the year, we released our website. Right? And light paper and also the MVP. And in Q3 2021, which is where we are at now, we have integrated Pancake Swap. I mean, you guys can just go into the game and interact with Pancake Swap later, right? And we have done our seed sale, and we're going to do our private sale very, very soon, and public sale subsequently. And as of now, we are doing airdrop in our Telegram channel. So if you guys, any of you guys are familiar, want to participate in airdrop, feel free to join our Telegram channel. Look for the form in the pin message, fill in the form, and then you'll be eligible to join our airdrop, right? Yep, and before we do our public sale, we are going to have RD to do the contract audit for us. And we are also going to be launching our launchpad, which is the Ola. And moving forward in Q4, we are going to have a lot of cool stuff implemented. We are talking about, releasing our NFT marketplace, gamified staking platform, gamified lending platform, and also introducing realms, which is cross-chain interoperability. So right now we might be talking about having only one realm, which is Binance Smart Chain, right? So in the future, if you want to onboard, say Ethereum, then we might have Ethereum realm. So in order for you to cross from BSC to Ethereum, you will need to have a bridge between these two realms. That is how things pans out at a high level. And next year and beyond, we're going to have land sales, advertisement, and play-to-earn elements built into our platform, right? So as you all can see in this screenshot itself, this is actually a character, this is like a sketch of how things would be like when it comes to renting a land. So as you can see, this character, Bobby, he can actually rent the land by paying 1,000 Oasis per month, right? So once after you click on this rent land, then it's going to prompt you, say, hey, do you want to interact with this smart contract? And upon confirmation, then you're going to own the land, and then you can actually lease the land out for tenants to come on board, and subsequently you will collect rental of the lease. Right. So now this is actually the part that talks about our team. Basically, we are a team of 15, and we have 3 dreamers, which are all our co-founders, FS, Vince, me, myself, and also Love, right? So we have one legal counsel, Jasper, with us, and we also have our very handsome advisor, Ken, over here, and 4 technical guys, 2 UI guys, and the rest of the people are essentially game architects, operation guys, and also marketing guys, right? So, yeah.
Vince, absolutely fantastic.
I guess,
can you hear me?
Yep.
Absolutely
yeah,
amazing.
I can hear you well.
Yes, I have a lot of questions, but obviously, I think what will be good, first and foremost, I do love the avatar of myself and Bella. Absolutely amazing. So basically, I think what will be really crucial is to be able to would be to actually work, because I'm sure the whole group will have a lot of questions, is to be able to actually show the MVP that you have. And then obviously, if you can be able to add the link, please, in the chat where people can go to. So obviously people can start communicating, start playing with the game as you're doing it live. I think that would help. And also connect to the test net or the main net. It's up to yourselves, yes?
Yep. I think there is an excellent suggestion. And as a matter of fact, I'm about to do that with everyone, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be one-sided. I figured out that, things would be more interesting if we were to be more interactive, right? So right now, straight away, I'm just going to show you guys how to actually assess the game, right? So basically, to assess the game, let me just share the link in the chat. Oh, I have a direct message. Just one moment. Right, so this is the link to our official website. And to access the game, very simple. Just click on this this avatar over here. Then boom, you will be redirected to the game. And then, as we can see right now in the game itself, there's a lot of people connected. Let me just mute the BGM for a bit. And we want to make things very simple to access. Right. I mean, if you talk about waiting for 1 minute or 2 minutes for the game to load, I think it's going to make a lot of people demotivated to come to the game. In order to access our game, it's going to be very simple. All you need to do is just to access this link and then wait for a few seconds for it to load. Connect wallet, make sure you're on BNB Binance Smart Chain mainnet, right? Then click on the wallet you want to use. Right now, we are supporting MetaMask and Trust Wallet. So boom, you actually enter into our 2D metaverse and you will get to interact with our people over here, right? So a few things to take note is that the night avatar that you're having is actually only seen by yourself. So other people will actually be seeing you being a commoner, right? And then beside the character, you can actually see the suffix of the wallet address. And one thing I want to clarify regarding the effect that we see on top of this character itself is that we want to also incorporate the element whereby, let's say, for example, now I'm playing Crypto Blades, right? And then the moment when this transaction get processed within the blockchain, well, we are seeing more and more people coming to Oasis platform. Welcome. So the moment when this transaction enters into blockchain, then this effect will appear. What is very fantastic about this thing is that it will actually create curiosity between, among the people beside me. So people are going to come to me and ask, hey, I'm seeing this night fighting effect on top of your head. What is it about? Then we will start talking about, hey, you're seeing this effect is because I'm actually playing Crypto Blades, right? And then, yeah, you will actually increase the exposure of these DeFi tools to the rest of the community. Likewise, for whether for Pancake you're doing a swap or whether you're doing a lending platform, Aave Compound, or whether you're doing a staking, we're going to have our own very exclusive effect for them as well. So imagine when we come into this this platform, everyone is doing their daily activities on DeFi. You will see a lot of people mingling around with a lot of tons of effects on top of their head. So yeah, we are trying to create this kind of very exciting and interactive metaverse within our DeFi community. You know, things doesn't have to be that dull, right? So a very saddening phenomenon that we are seeing at this moment is that, let's say, for example, now I'm joining a launchpad sales, I'm joining an IDO, be it whether it's a Polka starter or BSC starter. I'm basically just, I can't actually be seeing the hype together with other people. How nice would it be if, for example, let's say building itself, this tile council is actually representing a launch pad. And then you when you see a lot of people crowded outside the building, it will actually create a sense of excitement, sense of a demand for this launch pad, right? That is the thing that we plan to incorporate into Oasis platform. Right, so maybe I just share a little bit on how we do the, wow, we are seeing so many people logging into the Oasis platform. Very cool, thank you guys. And right, so I mean, for all the people who is interacting in Oasis platform, do come to here, and you will be shown with this pancake swap dialog. And just for information, you can actually perform real swap with, by interacting with this dialog itself. So let me just show you guys how I actually do the swap. Let's say, for example, I want to swap 0.01 BNB to BUSD, right? Wait for a few seconds, then you will say, hey, now you can swap, and this is the rate. When I click on swap, then you will say, you will come up with a confirmation box, confirm swap. And then MetaMask confirmation will appear. The moment once you confirm, then it will essentially perform the swap for you, right? If I mean, if you guys are skeptical whether or not it's pointing to the pancake shop address, you can actually copy the address and paste it in BSC scan for further verification, right? So this is just one of the use case that we are showing. During the public sale, we are also going to incorporating a lot of interesting defined dApps into our platform. So one of it is going to be our launchpad, right? So, yep. And let me see what else I missed out. And the thing that we want to create by introducing this, sorry, Ken, you were saying?
No, I was just saying, basically, so also what you have here in the situation is an enabling users to be able to essentially have their own land, build their own castle, for example. But most importantly, and something that's a really keen interest for me is that when people basically wake up, let's say people within the crypto space, normally when you wake up, you pull up your phone, you do what you have to do. And then the first thing that I tend to do will go on Telegram, right? To look at the assets I hold of those projects to see any updates, right? Obviously look at, RD Labs first and foremost, but see what the other projects like FOMO, like Walt and like GMT, Gambit and all that stuff. But basically you mentioned that also what would happen is there's this B2B aspect, right? Where these projects could essentially have their own piece of land, have their own section where they can actually make updates. So rather than make an update via Telegram or Medium article or Twitter, right? This could be the go-to place, right? Where they create an article, they create in a very nice, appealing user face where people can go to, they can go into the house, the Gambit house, right? To see all of the updates that's occurring and then also communicate with those within that house. Is that the aspect of the B2B area? Yes?
Yep. I think you're correct in the sense that let's say now I want to interact with Gambit platform, right? So essentially Gambit is going to have their own building itself. So in order for me to make use of Gambit protocol, I can actually visit the building. And you're right in the sense, but right now, based on our current roadmap, we do not have the information, the news about being planned within our roadmap yet. So to answer your question, you can actually be dealing with Gambit smart contracts within the building, but we won't be pulling the stuff about Gambit into the building just yet, right?
Okay, so, got it. But if I was like, for example, a member of Gambit, could I create that and then start pooling in the future, for example, in terms of adding content, yes? And then it's up to me to be able to build that content, those updates, and then for those connected to be able to then move towards and check the updates. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. I mean, we are a community-first platform, and I believe just now I mentioned that we have this council, which is our DAO. So even though we don't have this, the ability to pull updates, Telegram updates from Gambit itself, but if there is a huge demand that they want to have this incorporated within our Oasis platform, very easy, simply create a voting suggestions, voting proposal in our DAO. And then when we see there is a huge demand for that, then yep, we will get it implemented.
And then also regarding, so basically what you have is, you have the various avatars moving around. Is there a way that I can be able to click on an avatar which will pull up their specific wallet that I can see the assets, i.e. I truly believe in the future, and we've had these conversations with yourself, with FS, with the core team, Simon, Drew, Hodlin, stuff like that, AJ, is that we truly believe that this whole movement of this whole gaming aspect is really moving towards this metaverse where essentially people are building and really showing their, let's say, assets or the real estate they have within their wallet, right? So not just for example, the tokens they hold, but basically NFTs, for example. And what that means is, yes, we've seen this whole social aspect with, Uber, everything sharing with Uber, with Airbnb. And now we're seeing this whole movement where the younger generation, the XG generations, basically, they don't want to essentially hold assets in the physical world. They want to hold assets in this metaverse, right? And then if I can see what you're holding, that means I can be able to build up relationships with other like-minded people. Does that make sense? So is that an area that you really aim to tap into?
Yeah, I think you actually bring up a very interesting point. As a matter of fact, this is actually within our plan to have this kind of buddy system. That's the first thing that we want to have this incorporated, because we feel that the social elements within Oasis platform is a very, very important aspect. So in terms of the chat box, right now the chat box that we are seeing is actually a very very simplified version of chat box. Next, we are going to have this buddy system incorporated, and mentioned the inventory, also the wallet system. Yes, we're going to have that implemented. What I mean by that is that right now we are seeing, for me myself, I'm actually being represented by a Nike, and when we go mainnet, when we actually launch officially, this Nike, the character that you are seeing will actually be based on the NFT you are holding, right? So say if you are holding a cosmetic NFT for a Nike, then obviously after you log into Oasis, you will see a Nike. And if that person is holding, let's say, on an NFT of a frog, then he will be seeing a frog, right? And that is about the custody of NFT. And when we talk about inventory, yes, when we right-click a character in the future, potentially there's going to be a section that says inventory, and then you get to view the NFT that this guy is holding. And of course, we are also thinking, say that I see this person actually hosts this NFT, which I find it very, I'm very interested in this NFT. Then potentially, we can actually strike a deal and have a trading system, have a trade that is done between me and that particular individual. So yes, to answer your question, that is in our pipeline.
Great stuff. Okay, before you pass it over to your partner, co-founder, obviously what you have here, which is quite interesting, is especially in this space, when you invest in a project, it could be early stage, right? So you've got this vesting period potentially, or if it's listed on, whatever, PancakeSwap, for example, what tends to happen is, during times when there's nothing going on or hype or updates, the market's moving slowly, right? So this is a really interesting concept because it takes your mind away from just sitting in front of the computer and looking at the price go up and down, right? And then also you have the aspect of the play to earn. Where are you right now with the play to earn aspect? Because i.e., we've seen the huge projects like Axie Infinity of the world, right? That are on target, forecasted the end of this year to hit $1 billion in revenue, which is absolutely insane. And then you've got like Crypto Blades, right? And Crypto Blades, they're coming out with a new project called Kingdoms we've invested in. So where are you in terms of the whole integration aspect with the play to earn, and where do you see this whole moving to?
Yep, I see FS just raised his hand. FS, do you want to take this question?
Yeah. On the play to earn aspect, the main thing about Oasis is that we want to close the gap between the power users and the general users, right? So what I mean by that, it should not be dominated by whales, number one. So on our play to earn aspect right now, we are working on the mechanics to fine tune it that number one, it has to gel very well with the whole game flow and the economy of the game. We will not be launching the play to earn on right after TGE. In our roadmap, it will be on the first quarter of 2022. So yeah, in this three to 4 months, we have the concept ready, but I can't share too much about it at the moment because it's not finalized, number one. Yeah.
No, I understand. No, thanks for that. Okay. So basically, yeah, over to yourself then, FS, nice to hear you. And so could you maybe give us some more understanding in terms of the tokenomics, the timing, what's been raised thus far, what's the allocation aspect, and then the whole aspect of listings and so on and so forth?
Right, I will not have...
Vince, could you pull up the document on the tokenomics?
Yep, it's there already. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. So basically, we are way oversubscribed on our seed sale. It's completed a week ago. Ken has negotiated with us as he is an advisor. You have seen on our white paper that a big portion, which is close to about 70% of our private sale, will be allocated to the RD family. Yeah, and then next will be our public sale. We can't disclose much yet, but it's most likely going to be a dual listing. Yeah, we have applied to them. We have been speaking to them. We are looking at on a time frame about 5 weeks once the private sale has concluded. So give and take, I think we are looking at between 5 to 6 weeks from there. And our initial market cap on TGE will be 220,000.
Very good, very good. And basically, okay, so fine. So I'm just going through it. So seed, private. So basically, it's the private. So we got a few questions here regarding is it deployed? Okay, maybe can you check that on the chat?
Oh yeah, and one thing like we are going to take a huge portion, about 75% of the amount raised from public to be injected into the liquidity, so that everyone will have is fair, right? That even if a whale wants to buy, the prices is the liquidity is good enough for him. And if someone decides that, hey, you know, like they want to sell some tokens, there's going to be enough liquidity for everyone.
I think that's always an issue, right? Just in terms of liquidity is really important. And then also the amount of tokens in circulation, you know, what's the level of the selling pressure that would occur. But what's really interesting is that the market cap at TGE is relatively low, you know, 220,000, you know, that's the market cap. That is extremely low, number one. And then based on how much you're raising, because if you take a look at other projects today, you've got, I know Crypto Blade's on a different level because they've been around for a while, but I think they're, what, $25 million market cap, I think. And that's even down from where they were before. And then you've got the other projects in the sphere. So it just seems it's an interesting structure in terms of the raise, because normally with a lot of gaming projects, they tend to raise quite a lot, right? Because you need quite a lot of resources. So how are you guys managing to work around that, you know, in terms of, you know, the amount that you're raising comparative to what you've done thus far? Because I'm very impressed with what you've done thus far in terms of MVP. A lot of projects say they're going to do something and then we'll wait to see if they actually do it. You've actually have something tangible that's working.
Number one, we have like been bootstrapping for the last 2 quarters, and then the main reason that the market cap is low is that we are actually raising to the minimal amount. Number one. Number two, there is to be fair across the rounds of investors, right? So we have to cover basically on the vesting. So on the seed sale, which has concluded and oversubscribed, basically only 20% of the tokens will be unlocked on TGE, and then there will be a linear vesting across 9 months. And for the private sale, it's going to be 30% on TGE, and then it's going to be a linear vesting across 6 months. Well, on the public sale, they are going to get 50% on TGE and then 25% every 2 weeks after. So basically on launch, the math behind it is basically the circulating supply that's available, excluding the DEX liquidity, which is going to be injected from the company itself. Then that you multiply that by the price of the public sale, then you will get 220 grand.
Got it. And okay, so I've got more questions, but I'll put this to the group because I'm sure there's a lot of questions here. Let's just check here. Okay, so we've got one from, let's see here. So Wahid basically said, is the game deployed on Binance? Yes, it's Binance Smart Chain, right? Already on the mainnet. Okay. Then we have here, Matt basically says, when is it launching? Do you have like a rough timeline of when the launch will take place?
Yeah, give and take about 5 to 6 weeks from today.
Okay, great. And then what he basically says, as a player, will we own NFT characters? So I
Yep.
presume, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so like basically like we will have a preset NFT, and we are also giving a OG's NFT in our Telegram, and then of course the limited ones is entirely up to them if they want to purchase it. It's not by force. Yeah, we will have that on our marketplace, but upon login, every single one will have a standard avatar for sure.
Got it. Yeah, that makes it unique. You know, I do like that when everyone has their own, you know, avatar.
Yeah,
So
but for you will always have Bella there.
100%. Can't do
Yeah.
anything without Bella. There's a question here from M. Basically says, I have a quick question with the Pancake Swap interface. I couldn't see a slippage setting. Is it available?
Yeah.
As of
Yeah.
now,
You can take it.
yep. As of now, it's not available, but we will get it done before we do our mainnet launching. I mean, our public launching. So I mean, the pancake that we're having now is basically the bare minimum for investors, for already familiar to actually get a sense of how things are going to work when it comes to shopping the pancake.
Got it. Okay, and there's a question, Wahid. Basically says, what's the utility of the Oasis tokens? So why would one actually hold it? What benefit would someone will get from holding those tokens, except from, I guess, the speculation, right? You know, in the price. What other value add?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Do you want to take it or should I take it?
I think probably you take the question then.
Yeah, I'll take the question, right? Yeah, that's actually a great question, right? Number one, of course, you will need Oasis token to participate in the voting proposal and on the DAO expect, right? Number two is that on the NFT land sale, basically that if you have an Oasis, you get number one privileges, meaning what do you call that? You get a priority list if you have Oasis token, and number two, there's going to be a discount if you have the Oasis token. And of course, we also have Launchpad. Although Launchpad will not be our it will not be our main focus, but off and on, we are going to get projects onboarding with us, right? That itself, you will need to stake Oasis token inside. And upon launching, we will have our staking farm, but do not worry about the because when we mention staking farm, a lot of people are always worried about, hey, people are going to get free rewards, and then there's going to be a dump in the price. So we will most likely go with the module like something like what Illuvium is actually doing right now, that the vested tokens in rewards form are being vested across X amount of time. So that will and we will design that it will not affect investors from the seed round, from the private round, and definitely from the public round as well.
Okay, great. AJ basically said, what's the intended purpose of the Launchpad?
All right, maybe I will just take the question. So like what FS has just answered, we are going to be partnering with a few projects, right? So basically for those projects that wish to have their projects launched within our platform, then they can actually, stake their Oasis token in order to have a greater chance to be able to participate in the IDO. So yep, I think that is the main purpose why we are having our launchpad. But of course, subsequently, we are also going to be onboarding third-party launchpads, say for example, Podcast Starter or BSC starters, right? So I hope this answers your question, Ajay.
Okay, great. And also from AJ, does a percentage of the revenue generated go back towards Oasis holders?
Yes, exactly. That's the point I wanted to bring up before the question on the launchpad here. But on that, we definitely have that in place for sure. But we are trying to work out a mechanics that is fair, number one, to the Oasis holder. But I do not have a specific figure yet, because the main reason is that we are combining between the elements of the NFT sale, the play to earn module, which including the calculations on the staking, which dictates the APR and APY, right? And then we have also the revenue distributed back to the Oasis token holder. So right now we are putting all the numbers in place, and then we can come up with a figure. Of course, like for example, when there's a purchase of the NFT, there's an allocation that goes to buying back the Oasis token. So it is a very complex math behind the whole thing. So we are actually working right now on how each component is going to gel, and then have an estimate figure in percentage fixed form that the revenue is going to flow back to the Oasis token holder.
Okay, great. Then basically AJ said diluted market cap is about 2.8 million. So there's a lot of potential to grow. Yeah, I believe that as well. Once it's, totally vested, I just believe there's massive upside, especially as the maturity of the product, right? The MVP, adding more features upon the stack, I think is a big opportunity. Will this, John says, will this always be a browser-based game, or will there be an opportunity to develop this as an app?
Right now it's a fully browser, means you can actually access from a PC and mobile as well. So if you access within the mobile, it's going to be, it's going to be a mobile-friendly version. Most likely you are going to be connecting using Trust Wallet in order to interact with the Oasis platform, which I believe just now some of our RD family has actually done it. And yeah, I mean, as of now, I think it's still going to be browser-based game for now. But if in the future, when we see there's a need for this to be an app, then yeah, we will get it sorted as well.
Okay, and then Stephen said, is there some documentation in terms of the land aspect? So land leasing or buying land, is that going to be incorporated in terms of what you're doing? Because that seems to be a huge area now in terms of the max supply in land, right? So do you have some documentation, or will that be ready very soon?
As of now, we are still going to be very focused. I mean, in terms of what our roadmap has suggested, we are going to be very focused towards adding support for existing DeFi offerings in the market, say Launchpad, lending platform, DEX, right? And also potentially some NFT marketplace. We are going to add support for that as well. And then throughout the end of the year, we are going to have support for other chains, Hiko, KuCoin chains, or Ethereum chain. And I think that's going to be our focus for this year itself, to onboard as many DeFi dApps as possible into our Oasis platform, so that we can build up the community in the fastest possible way. So once after we have a substantial amount of community, then we'll be talking about, advertisement and also the pay-to-earn aspect of things, plus land leasing. And to answer Stephen's question, as of now, there's no documentation for that yet. But as we progress, probably 1 to 2 months down the road, and when we think right now is the good time to start structuring about the land leasing, then we will release more documentations around that aspect. So, and I see FS just raised his hand. So, yep, FS, over to you.
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. I know there's like a lot of hype on the NFT sale, land sale in particular, right? So we have like this discussion internally, like it has been here for a long time. So essentially, like what makes a land worth, like number one, it has to worth something before it's able to be rented out, right? So what determines that is a lot has to do with the anchor tenant, which on BSC, for example, the number one lending platform, I think, is Venus right now, and the number one DEX will be Pancake, right? So obviously, the land that is beside Pancake, let's say, for example, if I'm a new project and I'm say I'm the next lending platform, I will be like to be placed somewhere near to Venus or somewhere near to Pancake, right? So that land itself is going to worth a lot. Right. So the idea right now that we are launching on BSC, everything is going to be controlled internally right now and through the DAO. So it's going to be like an example, right? So we're going to have like Pancake and then Venus, and obviously we're going to have a street for all the VCs. So RD Ventures will be there, not number one for sure. And then when the next Oasis is done, which is, say, for example, Matic, right? That is when we will open up the NFT sale, land sale. Then there will be plotting. So definitely internally, we will secure the anchor tenant, which is the DEX on Matic will be DYFN, QuickSwap, and also Sushi is there. The land around there is all going to be open for plotting for land sale.
Yeah, very much so, because I think this is really interesting area, right? In terms of the land sale aspect. It's funny because when I talk to people outside of the crypto space and say that, you know, you have an opportunity to buy a plot of land in the metaverse, it's like people are scratching their head like, what the hell's going on? But I'm truly seeing that this is a hot commodity. There's phenomenal opportunities if you do it right, yes? And then that comes to the question that I have before I go to AJ's next question, in terms of the exposure. Obviously, you're in the gaming play to earn metaverse space. And obviously, as this whole space matures and grows, and I'm seeing some phenomenal exponential growth that I envisage over the next few quarters. But it then also requires projects to have deep pockets in terms of brand awareness. So right now, your project's very early, yes? You only have, what, 100 and something members, I think. Well, before we had this, you had whatever. But now it's growing steadily. So what is the go-to strategy from a marketing aspect to take it from the 100 to thousands of members, tens that, like we've done, with Crypto Blades at, 60, 70,000. What is that go-to strategy? Because this is going to be really important to spread the word, to get users, right? Playing, utilizing, buy and plot, really adding that value add. So what is the strategy behind that?
Yeah, like, to be honest, like we haven't done any marketing, it's like zero marketing at the moment. So that's why it shows like the numbers in the Telegram channel is I think it's just about like across 100. We are about to sign big partnership, which I can't reveal yet till it's confirmed. It's probably going to be confirmed by end of this week, and then we would definitely need a lot of help from the RD family for sure in terms of marketing. We have actually set up our Chinese Telegram because we have the network to the China market. Yeah. And on the side of AMA, there's a list of AMA that we will share out, that we will be doing the AMA across the next month, all the way up to the public sale. So you can keep at follow the what do you call that, the announcement channel. We are going to publish that really soon. I think by end of this week, the whole entire list and the timetable and schedule will be up.
Great stuff. And you alluded to a point about an announcement, right? Obviously, if that's the one that I'm privy to, if that goes through, that is a big baller announcement, I must say. So fingers crossed and good luck to that. If that happens, that'd be amazing. Even if it doesn't, I think there's a massive opportunity in terms of organic growth, right? Because this is where you can, when people start using, I think there's a high amount of retention that you'll have from users. And I also believe that there could be this whole interoperability aspect, right? It's not a case of your metaverse versus another metaverse. I really believe that this could be this interchangeable effect where people could be playing within another metaverse and then also interconnected with what you're doing. AJ's question is, will the game automatically know what I'm invested in, like Ava or Compound or Walt Farms, based on my address and show created content?
Yep, I think to answer his question, yes, we will actually be showing some created content. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, I have actually invested in Pancake Farm, right? So if you show that, hey, you have actually staked this amount of token in this pool itself, right? To answer a question, yes. And also on top of that, I mean, depending on the technical feasibility of things and also how things move forward. What is in our plan at this moment is that, you know, we are going to have a mechanism that will actually detect the activities that is done within the guys in Oasis platform. Of course, is that it might actually create some privacy concern for some people. Hey, I don't want to have all my activities being broadcasted to the people in the community. But rest assured that no worries on that, because this feature by itself is going to be turned off, right? But for some people who wish to share their proud activities, they can actually have this feature being turned on, and subsequently the stuff that they do, let's say they have actually swapped a huge amount of BNB with for some tokens, right? And he want this thing to be announced for the people within this Oasis platform, or he want this effect to appear on top of his head as he perform this action. He can actually have this toggle switch on. So hopefully this answers your question, Ajay.
No, great stuff. I think it does. Okay, does anyone have any more questions? I think we've covered quite a lot. It's coming up to the top of the hour. Are there any points that we've missed out, Vince and FS, that you would like to touch on?
I think for my end, probably the last thing I want to add is I mean, we're very happy to be able to bring this this platform to any of you here. Are they familiar, guys and girls? And one of the things that we plan to probably I missed out is that we want to create a social behavior, right, within this DeFi space. What I mean by social behavior is that let's say, for example, now there's this newcomer who just got onboarded within this within this DeFi space. And as we all know, in order to perform some activities in DeFi, there is going to be some learning curve required, right? So let's say, just a very simple example, I want to perform some staking in a pool in Pancake. And that token is probably, let's say, is a start token, right? But for a lot of newcomers, it takes them some learning curve, some difficulty, you even figuring out how to purchase start token. But what we can do is that, for example, now I have my friend log in within Oasis platform, and then he has BNB. He just purchased BNB from Binance, and then I can just just walk him to here and say, hey, just come to here and talk to, interact with this Pancake building. Have your BNB swapped to start token. Once you have start token, follow me here, come to the farm, assuming this is the farm, and click on this pool. Click on this particular pool itself, and then you will be presented with this dialog. And then once you stake it, then you can enjoy APY, right? This wouldn't be possible with the traditional DeFi look and feel that we are currently having, right? Because essentially what we are having at this moment, at this juncture, is just a very plain, uninteresting 2D text on the website. But by having all these things gamified, we can actually create a new social behavior, which can actually allow a lot of people, especially those newcomers, to get themselves exposed to a lot of other DeFi dApps in the space. So yep, I hope you guys enjoy the AMA, and I hope you guys enjoy interacting with our MVP. So if there's any questions, feel free to fire questions our Telegram support. We will have we have a few very friendly Telegram support operators that will try to address your questions, right? So yeah, I hand over the floor to you, Ken.
Fantastic, really appreciate it. Just the last question here from Bart basically says, so there'll be no special farming token next to the Oasis token. So there won't be like a DAO governance and then a farming token. It's just one token, right?
Yeah, it's just one token.
Okay, great stuff, great stuff. I'm truly excited, fantastic. Really, thanks for taking the time to come on for this this AMA project announcement. We'll be supporting your project for the life, of what you're trying to achieve. I think you're onto something pretty big. As we always do, we like to unearth early stage projects, like we've done with the you know, with the Waltz of the world, you know, prior to the private sale, like we've done with Gambit, like we've done with FOMO, the list goes on and on and on. And we're going to do exactly the same with what you're doing. I think that you have a massive future. Just to let everyone know, so you can, you know, any questions you have, you can ask in their group. Also, we'll add that into, add the details in our group afterwards, and also with the links and everything. And if you have any questions, you can ask them or ask us in the RD Labs group. Also, we'll also be submitting a pledge form tomorrow. So people can pledge ranging, you know, I don't know, be a certain amount. We have an allocation of what, 100,000 or so. So there'll basically be a pledge form based on an allocation for everyone that's part of the RD Familia, basically members. And then thereafter, after that, probably be like 24 hours pledge, 48 hours max. And then we'll open up the contribution. And then thereafter, we'll probably be open for about 2 to 3 days, probably maximum. We'll see how it goes. And then thereafter, working on supporting them, the value add to help them in terms of what they're doing. So really appreciate everyone. 69 people that we have, phenomenal that it didn't even tail off. So really excited. Thank you. The recording would also be added in the RD Labs group, and have a nice rest of the day and speak to everyone soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.